Hi, Cliff Ravenscraft here from podcastanswerman.com and the Podcasting A to Z course. And this is a quick little video demonstration of how Libsyn works. This is just the basics of Libsyn. Of course, I just want to tell you, when you go to Libsyn.com, it stands for Liberated Syndication. It's Libsyn.com. And if you don't have an account already, you can go to Plans and Pricing. And many times people are going to ask me, what account should I go with? Most people, I recommend that they go with the classic 250 account. That is $15 per month. That's going to allow you to, let me just get rid of that little thing there. It's going to allow you to upload up to 250 megabytes per month or per 30-day period of time. And how that works is, let's just say in week 1 you upload a 50 megabyte file. Now you only have 200 megabytes left. Let's just say 2 weeks later, so it's been 2 weeks, you upload another 50 megabyte file. Well, now you have 150 megabytes. Well, now it's 2 weeks later again, or a month since the last episode, and this one's 50 megabytes. You upload it, and guess what? You still have 150 megabytes left over. Wait a second. If you add up 3 episodes, doesn't that take up 150? Therefore, shouldn't it be down to 100 megabytes left over? The answer is no, because after a file has been on the high-speed servers for 30 days, it falls off and no longer counts against your limit for uploads. So after a file is on there for 30 days. So if you were doing a once a week show, so there are oftentimes, let's just say you did a show every single Thursday. Sometimes there are 5 Thursdays in a month. If your show was 50 megabytes, that's about 1 minute per megabyte per audio file. If you use MP3 at 128 kilobits per second, as I show in the audio editing tutorials for the A to Z course. If your shows are about 50 minutes or about 50 megabytes a piece, the classic 250 is going to be great. So yeah, absolutely classic 250. Now, the difference here is if we click on compare features, you're going to see that the classic 50 has what they call basic stats. Now, basic stats is where it's going to simply tell you how many downloads you have per episode. It will still break it down by month and all of the other things. The only thing is that advanced stats right here, advanced stats are going to give you breakdown by country and by device and some other things. Personally, I have the advanced stats, but I don't use them. So I think that the $15 a month plan is going to work. And if you're doing a weekly show and your show averages an hour in length, I would go ahead and recommend you bump up to what they call the App 400 plan, which is $20 per month. Now, it's just $5 a month more, but it gives you $400 worth of upload per month. And not only that, but it does give you those advanced stats if you want them. Now, I do want to tell you that it also comes with the ability to do this smartphone app package. I advise that you stay away from that. All right. So either the classic 250 or the app 400, again, without the app, but do the 400 with. So it's either $15 per month or $20 a month. You decide. Now, I do want to say that if you use promo code GSPN when you sign up, you will get your first month free. So you will get your first month free when you use promo code GSPN. Now, if you use promo code GSPN, it shouldn't matter if it's all uppercase or lowercase, just GSPN stands for Generally Speaking Production Network. If you get an error that says it won't work, it's because so many people use my promo code that they have a limit on how many times per month it can be used. And as you can imagine, when I do an A to Z course, a lot of people are signing up for Libsyn, and it does hit that limit. All you need to do is send me an email, and they will reset the actual count. So I do apologize if you run into that. But if you are signing up for a brand new account with Libsyn, use promo code GSPN, and for either the $15 a month or the $20 a month plan, either one of those will work great for you. And then you'll get that first month free if you use the promo code. Now let's go ahead and log in. First and foremost, I want to tell you. Now, what I want to tell you before I show you the inside of here, Libsyn, or Liberated Syndication, is a program that is designed to do everything for you related to podcasting. Literally, if you wanted to, you could actually just record your podcast, make it into an MP3 file, and then upload it to Libsyn. And Libsyn will create a website for you. They'll have audio player for you, and they will send it to iTunes for you. I mean, they'll do it all. However, I don't like the way that it's done. And so I highly recommend against using Libsyn. Oh, by the way, when you go to sign up for an account, it's going to say, you need to create an account name or a URL. So for example, if I look, I think this one right here, this account is Generally Speaking. So it would be generallyspeaking.libsyn.com, or it's going to give you a little space. It's going to be your something .libsyn.com. And by the way, if you follow my advice about what I'm about ready to tell you, that little space that you fill in as far as what your URL is going to be, it can be anything. It can be your name, it can be your show name, it can be anything you want. But yeah, so I have two accounts because I have so much content. I have a GSPN, or Generally Speaking, account, and then I have a GSPN account. So I have one that's GSPN.libsyn.com and one's generallyspeaking.libsyn.com. But I don't actually ever tell anybody about those websites because I only do what I'm about ready to tell you to do. And that is forget about their website, forget about their iPhone or smartphone application, forget about their everything else. Forget about their RSS feed, forget about anything else that they do. And there are only two things that you're going to use them for. One, a media file host, and number two, the stats. Those two things are amazing on here, and that's the main benefit, and that's the only reason why I would recommend that you purchase anything from them. So what do I mean by media host? That just means we're going to upload the MP3 files, and let's just say if it's 50 megabytes a piece. The reason why we like Libsyn is because we're paying that flat monthly fee, and you do not have to actually pay per download. There is no limit on the number of downloads. So, for example, Podcast Answer Man, if I were to get 5 downloads per episode or 500,000 downloads per episode, it would cost me the same amount. So if I was on the $20 a month plan and I had 6,000 people subscribed to my show, and then out of the blue, I go on a TV program nationally, and all of a sudden 200,000 people go and download 10 of my most recent episodes, I'm not going to get a big bandwidth bill. It's one flat monthly fee, and that is why I love Libsyn as a media host. Number two, their stats are pretty doggone cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you real quickly. Once you get logged into Libsyn, you'll have your dashboard here. Now, you won't have multiple shows, but instead you'll just have the one. So if I click on Generally Speaking, of course, that's mine. I just want to make sure I'm in the right system here. If I wanted to publish a file, all I'm going to do is click the Publish button here at the very top. Okay, so now that we are in the Publish screen, by clicking the Publish button at the top, you'll notice on the left-hand side, it already has highlighted New Post. This is great, and that's going to happen by default. Now, the next thing is it depends on how your setup is whether or not this little switch here is set for basic or advanced. If it is set at advanced so that the button's over to the right, then change it to basic. So we want to actually just make sure that basic is what is checked there. Now, the next thing that we want to do is you'll notice that right here, automatically it says, I want to publish a podcast episode. Now, you might think logically that's what we want to do, but no, we want to come over here where it says, I want to publish right here, file for download only. So this is very critical. So basically this is step number one, we clicked the publish button. Number two, we make sure that we're on New Post. Number three, we make sure we're basic. And then number four, we make sure we click file for download only. Then number five, we're going to click the hard drive and choose the file. And real quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you number 6 is the publish button down below. So again, this is your process. Click the publish button, make sure you're on New Post, make sure you're on basic, file for download only, click the hard drive file icon to find the file, and then you're going to number 6, scroll down and hit the green publish button. Let me show that to you. So we've already hit publish. We've already got new episode. We're already in basic mode, and we have changed it to file for download only. Now, I am going to click right here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on this hard drive icon, and I'm going to click on my desktop because I know that that's where I have the file, and I'm looking for sample copy MP3. Now, one thing I want to tell you here is I noticed that there is a space in the file name. This is a huge no-no. So make sure that there is no space in your file name. I'm going to fix that over here. So sample file test only. All right, now I've changed that on my desktop, and now there is no space in the file name. This is mission critical. There must be no space in your MP3 file name. Now I'm going to go ahead and click that file and click the open button. So now remember, we click the publish button, we click new post, we click basic, we click file for download only. Then we click the hard drive icon, and now you'll notice that this master file is saying right here, awaiting upload. All right, the next thing we do is just scroll down, and there is a green publish button. Now, before I click the green publish button, you'll notice that there are some other things right here between this awaiting upload and the green publish button. If you do not see this, it's not a problem. That just means that you're probably on the app 250 plan, or I'm sorry, the basic plan. You have to have the access to the apps plan, so the app 400 or greater, to actually have these options here, which, by the way, again, I do not use them. I do not recommend them. And so I just say ignore them. So basically what we've done is we hit the publish button, we hit new post, basic, file for download, click the hard drive icon and choose the file, click the open button, and it'll say awaiting upload, scroll down, and then just hit the publish button. And now you'll see that it says beginning upload. And it says now of course, it's going to take a little bit longer if your file's bigger. I just chose a really tiny file. Now, as soon as the file is done uploading, you'll notice right here, it actually has your download URL right here. It says your download URL right here. My recommendation is that you don't highlight that and copy it from there, because you could accidentally, even though it doesn't look like it, you could accidentally copy a white space at the beginning or the end of your URL. So once you have uploaded the file and you actually see this button that says back to posts, that's what I want you to click. So you are going to go ahead and click back to posts. Now, once you do that, you're going to see a list of all of the files that you have uploaded. And I want to actually hover, and you'll notice there's no links here when I'm not hovering over it. But I want to hover over the file that I just uploaded, and I want to click the links button. Once you click the links button, then you're going to get the direct download URL button. Ignore the enclosure, ignore the permalink. Instead, you want the direct download URL. So you're going to basically go in here and highlight this entire URL, right click and copy that, and now you can go you can paste that file into whatever you're going to be pasting it into. Now, of course, if you're following my instructions for the setup of WordPress for podcasting, chances are that's going into your PowerPress. But if you already have a podcast in some other way and you're used to doing it another way and you're just starting out with Libsyn, well, this is how you get your URL. And I'm just going to paste it right into the browser here.
Hi, this is Cynthia Sanchez from the Oh So Pinteresting podcast. You are listening to Cliff Ravenscraft. He's been taking podcasting to the next level since 2005. He is the podcast answer man.
All right, so that's the little file that I just put up there, and that's all there is to it. Once you've done that, you're finished. Now, I do want to show you real quickly, there is one other tab at the top where it says statistics, and this, of course, is where you can see your stats. Now, I'm not a huge fan of going in and paying a lot of attention to stats, so I wouldn't worry about it. These are some of my other shows, and that on our network, they don't have a lot of traction these days because I've focused everything pretty much on Podcast Answer Man right now. I do occasionally fire up like a Hunger Games podcast or another entertainment podcast that'll reach 10, 20, or 30,000 people. But on a weekly basis, we have somewhere between somewhere between 500 to about 1,000 people who are listening to all of our other shows on our network. But Podcast Answer Man is my main push and my main focus. But just right here, just so you know that this would be your basic stats. You got every episode, and it's going to tell you for downloads, it's going to tell you how many people this month, last month, and the month before, and then the total number of downloads for all time for that particular file. That is your basic stats. But let's go into this Authentic Life Radio. This is a show that my wife does. She's got 849 total downloads on this file so far. And this right here is the advanced stats. This is where you can actually see what top countries, top regions, U.S. markets, all of this stuff. I can see how many people in the United States, how many people in Canada, and each of the other countries. I can even go in here and see where the referrers are coming from, what websites are actually driving traffic to this file. I can see daily totals. I can see weekly totals. I can see monthly totals. I could see user agents, which tells me iTunes or Safari or the Firefox browser, Chrome, and all that stuff. Again, I really don't care about advanced statistics at all. All I care about is, on average, how many people are downloading each of the episodes that I produce online. But my friends, that is Libsyn. There you go. That really all you're going to do is you're just simply going to use this for hosting your media files, uploading your media files, getting the URL, and occasionally coming in and checking out your stats. All right. I hope this has been helpful, and thank you very much. I'll see you online and at podcastanswerman.com.